In this video, we're going to discuss the differences between Chainlink and Ergo. Now, my name is Dan from the Hidden Gem Network, and this video is a follow-up to one that I made specifically talking about Ergo. Now, for those of you that have requested this over and over and over again, here to tell you, I'm about to deliver this for you. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and anything I say here, you can pretty much just chuck up as my own research and what I'm regurgitating back out to you as what I found. So any financial decision you make from this is on your own, and I'm not telling you to buy anything, sell anything, or literally do anything except hopefully smash the like button and subscribe if you enjoy this content. So with that being said, the first thing I want to dive into is what Ergo is and what Chainlink is if you're not familiar. Well, they're both oracles. Now, what is an oracle? Well, it essentially takes data from point A and then aggregates it to point B. Now, a lot of times, majority of the use cases are in the decentralized finance ecosystem. So when it comes, well, I guess you could say every single case is everything in the DeFi space works with an oracle, mainly. So when it comes down to an oracle, it's needed. It's like crucial. So you know when you're going out there and you're looking at yield optimizers, and you know that APY, so the interest you get whenever you create a liquidity pool, a liquidity contract and put it into a liquidity pool, that particular APY is determined by an oracle. And that data is transmitted from point A to point B. So wherever this data is coming from, right? So it can be offline event, it can be another online event, whatever it is, it just transmits that data from point A to point B. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty much what everything in the DeFi sector needs in order to operate and function. So again, we see the growth of the decentralized finance ecosystem and how it just keeps increasing. So platforms like Ergo and Chainlink are required. Now, Chainlink, as we know, is pretty much the grandfather, is the head honcho of oracles. That's pretty much what vast majority of projects in the DeFi space will typically use if they're not going ahead and programming their own type of oracle internally. So when it comes down to needing an oracle, DeFi projects will tend to lean towards the most reliable and safest. And that was Chainlink. Now I'm saying that was Chainlink because of the simple fact that Ergo claims to be a lot safer and a lot more reliable, and we'll dive into that in just a little bit. But essentially, I'm going to just kind of show you something in regards to the price. Ergo, as we can see, if we just go to max over here, we can see that the price here, it listed, pretty high, and then the price just fell off completely. Now, when the price fell off completely, this is totally fine. The way that I saw this was same type of thing, ironically, that happened with Cardano, when it was at $1 something and then it just went right back down to 3 cents. And then over time, once it started building and once it started actually getting some sort of movement and hype around it, it started to see incredible parabolic gains. And ironically, we're seeing the same type of pattern that we saw with Cardano. Now, why? Is because Ergo is for Cardano. So right now, as the as the testnet gets rolled out on Cardano, before we have the Goguen mainnet, the actual oracle that's being tested on the testnet is Ergo. So we can see that, yeah, it was completely stagnant. People were definitely upset because, again, they probably bought pretty high, and we can see what happened over here. But if we take a look at Chainlink, this is pretty interesting. Its growth has been just consistent over time. Obviously, there's corrections and there's dips, that's normal. But we can just see, because of the adoption of Chainlink, how consistent the growth is over time. So again, I would actually compare this growth and this movement something similar to, let's just say, Bitcoin as an example, where yes, there's corrections, there are dips, but over time, because it has that first mover advantage, it's going to see some incredible gains, and they're consistent, right? So if, again, this is for a whole different video, but the reason why Bitcoin is where it is, and I'm going to create another video against why Ethereum will most likely overturn Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has the first mover advantage, and first mover advantage is always key, but it doesn't mean it's always the best. So Chainlink has the first mover advantage, but doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best solution. So where does that lead me next? Well, Chainlink is cross-chain, right? So meaning that it can be used on different blockchains. And Ergo right now is being built specifically around Cardano. Now, let me just kind of pull this up right here. It's on the Cardano forum. It's blatantly said Ergo will complement Cardano. So I'm actually going to link this down in the description rather than reading everything to you, because there's a lot that is actually in here. However, what I want to highlight right over here is right here. Oracle groups will be essential for all applications. And again, Oracle groups, because once you see how this works, you're going to see the difference between Chainlink and Ergo. So not just financial ones, all kinds of data outside the blockchain will be needed to run applications. Correct, like I just said before, taking data from point A to point B. The layered Oracle groups with deviation checking consensus allowed in Ergo open up a whole new world of applications. Ergo also implements a local exchange system with new stablecoin called Age USD, the first UTXO-based stablecoin. The stablecoin powers the liquidity machine, a group of applications needed to bring liquidity to the Ergo blockchain for other tokens issued over the Ergo network to run the decentralized apps. So long story short, Ergo is going to have their own form of stablecoin. And the reason why is because it's going to essentially power the entire liquidity protocol on Ergo. Now this is going to be super powerful. Again, I need to see it in action. I need it to be really broken down for me to have other opinions and really kind of determine where this might be going. Because right now we just know that it's an Oracle being built around Cardano, and it's being tested on Cardano, and it has a lot of potential because it's more secure and it's faster, cheaper, and some would even say more reliable than Chainlink. However, we haven't seen it in action yet because there's no DeFi, there's nothing on Cardano yet because Goguen hasn't launched. So right now it's all speculation until we actually see a working product, right? So Chainlink is already proven to work and it has a first mover like I explained. Ergo is creating a cluster of data from other oracles and other oracle pools to get the best data at a cheaper, predictable rate and faster to these dApps, these decentralized applications. Now, I really want to reference some points here so you can see and visualize the difference between Chainlink and Ergo. So right over here, if we just scroll down, you can see the Oracle pool data collection. So you see the oracles right over here. So this can be like Chainlink, this can be C3, this can be Band, it can be whatever, literally whatever oracle you can think of. It can be this particular standalone oracle. So remember, it's gonna pull data from different oracles and different oracle pools. And it's going to essentially get the best data at the cheapest rate possible, the fastest way possible, right? So if Chainlink takes 12 minutes or 15 minutes to get data from point A to point B, maybe Band can get that data, the same data from point A to point B, a lot faster, a lot cheaper, and it's more reliable. And the problem is that if a decentralized application is built using Chainlink, it's only going to pull that data from Chainlink. So it only has Chainlink and doesn't know to go to Band. However, Ergo will go ahead and cluster these up, create the groups. As you can see right over here, this is a great imagery. This is great imagery right over here. You can see we have the oracles, the standalone oracles, and they get grouped into them, and then those groups get grouped, right? So it gives you the best data, the fastest way possible, and the most reliable data. So I hope that's kind of one of the best explanations I could possibly give to you. It's really hard to understand if you've never grasped the concept of what an oracle is supposed to do. But just think of this. A lot of different oracles in one get clustered together to give the best data, the most reliable data, and at the cheapest rate, and predictably give it to you at a cheap rate, okay? So because the cost is actually incurred by us. So we're the ones who have to pay for the cost of this data. So, when you approve contracts and all of that inside of certain yield farms and whatnot, you're essentially paying for that data to be aggregated to the dApp that you're using. So that's how that is processed. So there's so much information down here about Oracle pools and Chainlink versus Oracle pools. So I would highly recommend checking out this particular article, and I'm going to link it down in the description down below so you can read all the points and learn a lot more about how oracles and the protocols actually work, so you get a better understanding if you want more explanation. But this was a dumbed down version, and everybody's going to ask, Dan, which one do you think is going to win in the long term? Chainlink does have first mover advantage. Doesn't mean that Ergo can't take market share. As a matter of fact, I definitely think Ergo has the possibility to overtake Chainlink once they go and have the ability to go ahead and offer cross-chain development, where you can go ahead and have dApps on Polkadot. You can have apps on Ethereum. You can have apps obviously on ADA. Matic. So once it goes cross-chain, Matic aka Polygon for those that don't know, once it goes cross-chain, there's so much more potential to overtake Chainlink. But right now, we have to see the preliminary data when it comes down to Cardano and see how it performs. So with that being said, my name is Dan from the Hidden Gem Network. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. Also, if you want me to take a look at any gem you think you found, go ahead and leave a comment down below and I'll do some research. And if it's good enough, I'll create a few videos or maybe even a video just specifically for that gem. So with that being said, my name is Dan and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you real soon.